Morning guys, I'm here the next day after day 2 on the Potomac River. I'm here in beautiful Clinton, Maryland. I'm staying at Ave and Miley's house here. They were gracious enough to rent me their RV and they've had awesome hospitality, great cooking Miley, and thanks for the talks over some beer, Ave. Anyway, I'm here the next morning trying to wake up, getting ready to get on the road, 22-hour drive. Got my coffee and I've got some rods set up aside here with my baits. Do a little recap of what worked for me. Obviously this was another tough event for me. Kind of sums up my whole rookie season, very difficult. But man, did I learn a lot, and I really hope I get to make it back next year and round up enough sponsorship money to do it again. I'd love to give it another shot. So anyway, I'm just going to show you guys the stuff that worked best for me, if you didn't already kind of figure it out on your own watching the videos. Really the bait I caught the most of my fish on in the tournament was kind of between two baits, but I was flipping grass. I had a grass flat. I knew there was some fish on it. Day one, I didn't go to it till towards the end of the day and realized I'd made a mistake. But anyway, I was able to flip this grass both in low tide and high tide. This is a Gene LaRue punch out craw in golden June bug color. Again, I've got this rig on a flipping hook. This is an Opticast GT tungsten weight. Again, these guys, awesome weights at awesome prices, so get on there and check those guys out. But you can just take this punch out craw right out of the pack just like it is, and you have options. Okay, you can determine the action of this bait. So it comes, all the appendages are attached together when you buy it. So you can break it once there if you just want a small amount of action. You can break it a second time and you get a lot more action, or you can break it a third time if you want and it'll really flop around. I was leaving it right there broke twice. That seemed to be about the amount of action that I was after, and the fish seemed to be willing to bite that the best. But I was able to pick this up and jerk it through all the different types of vegetation that were on that grass flat, and just popping it up, letting it fall back down and flutter back down, sit there a minute, pop it back up, flutter back down. And it did a really good job of getting those fish in, getting them to bite. The second thing that I ended up catching most of my big fish on day 2 of the tournament was this swim jig. Bionic Fishing makes this swim jig. Stefan and I kind of got together and built this skirt. I'm a big fan of June bug, so we named this a Junie bug color. It is just beautiful, if you can't tell. Again, I tipped that with that same punch out craw. It seemed to be the color for me. I would just throw that out there, let it sink to the bottom, go ahead and let it sink in the grass, and then just try to retrieve it back through the grass. If you felt it get caught up, jerk it a couple times until it felt like the bait was free of the grass again. And man, those fish, when they decided they wanted it, they'd hit it so hard. It was such a cool bite, and it was really depressing when one would hit it really hard and they didn't get it and you missed them because you knew you missed a big one. I didn't get to use it much in the tournament, but in practice, this Gene LaRue inchworm, this color, and in Morning Dawn, this is mad bluegill. Those fish were feeding on bluegill, and a lot of those places, bluegill were starting to spawn in the Potomac. There were bluegill beds and stuff in places. And so that bluegill color was really good for me in places, but again, some of my best holes just didn't produce for me on day 1 of the tournament, and I should have just sat on that flat with everybody else, any of those flats. The other thing I caught a lot of fish on in practice, or had a lot of blow-ups on, was just a popper frog. This is just a black spro, black and yellow spro popper frog. I don't know if it so much mattered whether it was a popper frog or a skimmer or top toad, but those are the baits that I caught the fish on. I guess I should tell you what kind of rod and reel I was throwing on them, huh? So again, this is a 7-foot medium heavy. This is what I was flipping with. Might be kind of light for some people, but I like throwing a 7-foot medium heavy. It's my go-to rod. Kistler KLX. This is the Texas Carolina rig worm rod, and I have like 7 of these. This is my favorite one. I can do everything with it. I pair it with a 6.5 to 1 Ardent Apex Elite. This is a 7:3 to 1 gear ratio, so I can get them out of there pretty quick. The swim jig that I threw it on a 7-foot light medium heavy. It kind of had a softer tip to it. Yeah, you can't see that, but I liked it better than having something that was real stiff. Those fish would hit it really hard, and I'd want to jerk really hard back, and I don't know, it just seemed to let them take the bait a little better. And so this is a 7-foot light medium heavy Kistler Helium 3 Awesome rod, awesome setup. I only lost one fish on that, and I don't think that was because of anything other than me. Here's my spinning rod that I always talk about, that I always love, 7-foot medium heavy Kistler KLX. This is the multi-technique spinning rod. Awesome. I told you you'd see it in my hand every time, and you do. I threw the frog on a helium. This is a 7.6 heavy. This is one of the older series of helium LTA. So now they call it the helium 3. But 7.6 heavy. Again, all these were paired with Ardent reels. This is another 7.3-1 Apex Elite. The spinning reel is a Ardent Wire 2000 series spinning reel. Pretty cool looking reel. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's neat looking, and it's a great reel. So that's it, guys. That's my recap. This is the end of the 2017 tour season for me. Obviously, nowhere close to making the Wood Cup, so won't do that. Costa Series is still in play. I'm sitting in 4th at Angler of the Year points. I have one event left on Lake Texoma, so I've got a chance to go back-to-back Angler of the Year, and I'm going to give it my all. So I appreciate you guys watching and following and making comments and all that. And I apologize to the guy who thought I might kill somebody while doing a live video feed on YouTube while I was driving. I was safe, I promise. Sorry, but anyhow, other than that, guys, thanks again. And I don't know, I guess I'll talk to you after the recap of the Costa in September. Thanks, guys. Bye.